subscribe to Amazon Music, which is
Oh, okay. Let's see. 17. We're on episode 17.
it's an odd number because we missed one in there due to
Oh, man, I was sick as a dog.
you were barfing, if I
It
recall.
was awful. So,
Are you recording?
yes.
Okay.
Just now. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, if you want to introduce the episode about your barf,
No,
then-
I don't want to introduce the episode. The lost episode 16 now, it would be. So we would be on 18 right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who are you?
I'm Pat. Welcome to Coffee Before Bed, the podcast that has no set topic ever. And you are?
I'm Jeffrey, and Patrick's right. So tell me about the barfing.
Do you really want to know about it?
I think everybody deserves to know about it. If you miss an episode, you got to cop to.
Okay. I thought we just let it slide.
No, I'm not mad at you,
Oh,
but
okay.
I mean, if you're going through an experience like that, get it out there.
Oh, well, I did. Yeah.
So tell us.
So
Tell us about the barfing.
I don't know what I ate. I don't know who I came into contact with.
Mhm.
Well, it's probably my kid. So she was actually stomach sick that weekend.
Yes.
And so Monday night, all of a sudden, it was like, oh. So after you eat a heavy meal and then you realize maybe I ate something that was bad,
Sure.
and then the next morning you're like, no, it would be gone by now.
Sure.
Yeah, it was
Yes.
one of those. Yeah. So it was fun. So I didn't eat solid food for 3 days. It was pretty cool.
No solid.
No
food.
solid food for 3 days.
Thanks so much. Actually, you know what laid me out? I'm just surprised is, so I stopped using artificial sweeteners for a very long time.
Yeah, I remember.
Right.
Wait a minute, are you using them again?
I have one or two,
Oh,
but
okay.
I also had one of my diet sodas. Now I haven't had a soda in 3-4 months, and I gotta break it to you. Like, I don't know if my body was just over it, but soda messed my tummy up.
Really?
Yeah,
What,
Yeah.
It's just like a Diet Pepsi? Or Diet Dr. Pepper?
it was a diet Sprite.
Oh, geez.
Yeah,
See, I actually had Sprite last week for the first time in probably a year.
probably
So-
delicious.
Oh, it was great.
Yeah.
When you're sick, Sprite or 7-Up is
Oh
fantastic.
yeah.
Yeah.
Something in the Canada Dry family or something like that too.
No, it's not sweet enough. I don't like that stuff.
Not ginger ale. No.
Ginger ale's fine. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. I'm thinking like club soda. I've never liked club soda.
Club soda's gross.
Okay. We're on the same page there.
Just to chug it naturally.
Yeah.
I mean, you can make some drinks with it, but
I guess.
that's not what we're
Yeah.
doing. You weren't making
I
yourself
wasn't
cocktails.
making, cocktails in order to settle my stomach down. It's like, oh, let me make myself a martini. Let's see how this works.
I would think this would be a. Well, so I mean, I know it goes into a Long Island iced tea. I'm trying to think about which borough involves Pepto in that. So that's like a
That's got to be a Queens thing. Yeah.
it's a Queen's iced
No,
tea.
a Queen's iced tea. Yeah.
That's what you're making to try to make yourself feel better.
Queen's
Yeah.
iced tea. Yeah. I don't know, man.
Staten Island iced tea.
Right. Gross. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's probably got marinara in it.
Well, okay, yeah. So it would be largely Irish and Italian. So
Yeah.
give me some Irish in there too.
This is haggis. So.
Well, you could
Oh no, that's
use,
Scotland. My bad. Yeah.
you could use like Jameson. I think.
Oh
that'd be
well, then
fair.
that would
Yeah.
be normal.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
So Jameson and marinara is a.
It's a Staten Island car bomb.
Is that the shot that goes in the?
Right.
You drop it in the.
You drop it in your beer. Yeah.
Okay,
So
wait,
in this case,
wait.
you drop it in your club soda.
Okay, no, hold on. So it's a shot of marinara that goes in the beer, not
That's disgusting.
no. Well,
You're gonna make me sick.
well,
again.
or if it was a shot of whiskey that goes in the marinara.
Ugh. No, man. No. Making me queasy thinking about that. So,
But it's got to be Peroni, right? That's the beer you use.
oh, I don't know. I don't think it matters. If it's Staten Island, you could probably use Bud Light. So,
Yeah, I'm trying to think of an Italian beer. Peroni's like the only one I can think of.
yeah, but nobody really drinks that, man. So,
No.
yeah, you're still in America. Everybody in New York drinks Yingling. So,
Well,
yeah. Or Pabst. So,
yeah. Well, hipsters drink Pabst, yeah.
yeah, hipsters
They drink that.
yeah, they've
They drink
they've
that in
encroached
Brooklyn.
on my beer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Wait, is Stella?
still is kind of fancy.
Is that Italian?
I guess. I think so.
Okay, so you could use that for your.
Yeah, you gotta
Italian
like scrape the
carbone.
top off of it too. Yeah, with the fancy butter knife. So
Well, the fact is, we remember the ad, so it is
I
kind
do
of
remember
effective.
the ad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I suppose so. I've never really liked Stella. So I mean it's fine. So
Beer.
it's like champagne. It's just
Yeah.
like champagne beer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there is such a thing.
Kind of. Yeah.
Well, you've also, for the experiment in October, right? Did you try just one non-alcoholic beer, or did you try a few?
It was the only one they had. So they had Heinekens,
Okay.
which were fine. They taste kind of like Heinekens. So they taste like stale Heinekens. So
Okay.
yeah, but
Yeah.
they don't taste too bad. You get used to them after about a couple days. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll do that again in January. I don't know.
What, go silver?
Just, yeah, it actually
Pure
feels
sober?
good to do it for like extended periods of time.
Well, that was the challenge, right?
It was.
It was sort of like a cleansing month, and
Kind of.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think everybody should know the benefits. I mean, you're looking trim. Your pores are as small as they've ever been. Like you're,
Still had the size of manhole covers.
and I can't prove it, but I think I'm seeing new hair on your head.
Yeah, that is false. It's distinctly false.
Oh, you're just not shaving.
I'm just not shaving my head. Yeah. It's not growing back, man. So I just grow it out every now and then to see how much of it's gone gray. So
I don't want to know. That's why mine stays so close to the
yeah,
wick.
I think he gets a little angrier the more that you do that, though, man. So
Well, here's where the logic is bullshit. Is remember when we were kids, they would talk about like you should start shaving because it makes it grow in thicker.
yeah, I remember that rumor. I don't think it's true.
I can prove to you it's not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Watch me try to grow in my beard or the hair on my head. I've been
Oh.
shaving those a long time. They don't come in thicker.
Yeah, no, the hair on my head doesn't come in any thicker. So, I don't think I could shave my beard. So, I think I'd die.
No, you could shave it.
Yeah, I don't know about that,
Yeah.
man. Yeah.
You could shave it. You just don't want to.
No, actually, my wife doesn't want me to either. I shaved it once, long time ago. Maybe like the second year we were married.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and she was like, grow it back.
Well, I mean, it would be one of those funny things for you to just jump in now and take a stand on and say, no, it's got to go.
It's got to go. Yeah, like have my own queer eye moment, kind of thing. It's like, oh, he's like 20 years younger now. Yeah.
I mean, we'd have to like fully make you over.
I know, yeah. I have
And
to go get some wingtips or something.
wingtips. We'd have to go get you some tailored clothes. We'd have to get you.
Oh,
some,
yeah. Get some tailored clothes. I'd have to learn how to cook one really fancy dish.
You do have one really fancy dish, don't you?
A fancy one?
Yeah.
No.
What do you have in your arsenal?
All of my stuff is like mom's homemade cooking kind of stuff and YouTube cooking now. So like, I can make lasagna. So I can make meatloaf. I can make really good meatloaf.
Okay.
Um,
So these are all recipes from the Church of Cracker Barrel.
pretty much,
Yeah.
yeah. So,
Very down home, very
I don't.
very comfort.
Yeah, no, I make. That's about all that I make is comfort food. So pot roasts and stews and things like that. Chicken pot pie. Yeah, that's all that I make. Homemade cookies. So, So he asked me to make something
Yeah,
fancy. I
yeah.
can't do it, man.
Yeah, you don't have one fancy dish. You don't have a. When's the last time you cooked fish?
Fish? Well, frozen box fish, not too long ago.
No, I mean you got it.
I actually got a fish. I have
Well,
never
not slaughtered yourself, but I mean went to the deli counter and
I have
and
never
got,
done that. I've never done that. So I've cooked like trout on the grill back when I used to use my grill. That's been at least a decade. So
How'd you like the trout?
I don't like trout that much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm surprised you
That's why I
even
didn't
brought
go
that up.
fishing them. But,
Yeah.
yeah, I throw them back, man. Or if there's people there who want them, it's like have at it. But it's like the fishiest fish, so
It's all right.
it's fine.
I don't particularly love it.
They're okay smoked if you can smoke all the trout juice out of them.
Pretty much, but what you're talking about at this point is you just want a different fish. So it's the same thing where it's been a long time for me, but I remember, people that would get their coffee and you'd look at this wasteland of like four of those creamer cups and a mile high stack of empty sugar packets. And the question then becomes, do you really like coffee? Are you sure that there's something else that
Right.
you wouldn't rather be drinking?
Yeah.
Because
yeah, obviously, you have to remove coffee far from where it comes in its natural state.
right, and
Yeah.
that's kind of what you're doing to trout. You
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
you are putting a lot of rock star in that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't eat fish though, so there are very few fishes that I like. So I like maybe white meaty fish. Like I used to eat swordfish and stuff like that.
Swordfish is delicious.
It's great, okay, but it doesn't really taste like fish,
No,
Yeah.
it doesn't.
It tastes like really luxurious chicken.
Kind of, yeah. I understand what you're saying. Like, there are times you eat fish, and if somebody pointed to you and said, "No, that's actually lynx," or
Right, yeah.
or
Yeah. Right, yeah.
That's,
It's alpaca.
yeah. No, that's ferret, and
Right.
like I wouldn't be able to tell you. I'd be like, really,
Uh,
that's strange. I didn't think I would like ferret, but it doesn't taste like fish. I don't even like salmon. I love salmon. Salmon doesn't really even taste that
no.
fishy to me.
Yeah, and so that's the one fish that I do make, or I used to, was we used to get, Costco's got really good salmon flanks that you can get there. We used to bake those, so they're pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but drive my cats fucking bonkers. So,
Why? Because I don't like it.
oh no, just because of the smell.
They like the smell.
Oh, yeah, they're cats, man. I don't think there's a cat out there that doesn't like
I
the smell.
don't know,
of
man.
salmon.
Well, your cats are weird. You do describe
Yeah.
the very strange behavior, so it could be.
No. They're getting kind of normal now. So as they're getting a little bit older, they're getting out of that kitten phase. So
Yeah, they're
'cause
really.
I think they're
mature
2.5 now.
Yeah,
They might be 3,
you're really 3 years old.
2.5. I think they're 2.5 right now. Yeah. So how old is Kinsasha?
I think she's around 5.
Really?
Yeah,
No,
yeah, I think she's around 5.
you've had her longer than that.
No, not really.
Really?
I don't think so.
Well, I trust your memory over mine, man.
Well,
So-
I also see her all the time, so there's
Right.
a.
Well,
But-
just in terms of dates in general. So
Yeah, I don't remember exactly, and part of that also had to do with the nebulous nature of not really knowing how old she was when we
Yeah.
got her. It was just a guess by the people at the pound and the
And the vet.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know. There are days when she carries herself like a mature 27-year-old or so, but there are also days like, again, today there's just so much like puppy energy.
Yeah.
I mean, she's cooked now, but then again, I've been running her up and down the stairs all day.
Yeah.
So, also she's lazy.
Yeah. Oh no, she's not that lazy. You gotta see my cats, man. So I got one that's just a log. So
The big fat one.
she's not that fat.
Yeah.
So, but she's fluffy. So and not like fluffy like fuzzy fluffy, but like
Right.
Iglesias
She
fluffy.
got
Yeah,
she got a little bit of defensive lineman on
she's
her.
got a little bit of defensive
Yeah.
alignment on her.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you know, but that cat is lazy. So
Mm.
yeah, anywhere there's a flat surface, if it's like, you know what, I'm done walking, she'll just flop on it. It's like, cat, I'm cooking here. Get off the counter. No keys on the furniture.
Move.
Move.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but that's okay. Yeah. Oh well. Yeah. No. 5 years old, huh?
I think so.
Okay.
I mean, that'd be my best guess. I don't know. It's really hard for me to tell. I mean, if I were just to look at her, I would struggle to take a guess, right?
Yeah, five's not a bad guess.
I don't. Yeah,
Yeah.
and given the fact that I've given up on counting my own age, I don't even really
Mm-hmm.
I don't even really know. So I don't know why I should count it with her, except for
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Speaking of our own ages, what are we coming up? We were just talking about this. The year's almost cooked. It just like came up on us at the end here. And so next year will be another even year, right? 2022?
Yeah.
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 So it's always easier for me to calculate my age on an even year.
Well, that's mine.
Yeah.
Well, because my birth year was 80.
Yeah, an even year. Yeah. So yeah, well, and you're right on a decade too. So
Pretty much.
yeah, what's my well, yeah. That's like me graduating college was easy because it was 2000.
Oh
So,
yeah.
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 So I always know exactly how many years it's been since I graduated. Oh my God, it's almost been 22 years.
I don't even think about it. I know.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So
The thing is, I know the year, so that when banks or something need me to put it in, yeah, I can tell you that.
right.
But
Yeah.
if you're asking me to do the math of X minus birth date and year, I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't
Yeah.
know. It's sort of. This is the weird thing: is you and I have bounced off each other for years. Certain memories that have come and gone.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that always get to me is there are some people. I thought my memory is good, but there are also people that you ask them about an event and they can break down August of 14.
Right.
August of no, no, not August of 14. It's the same thing when, and you don't have to do this. You haven't done this in years, and frankly, I really haven't either. But when you have to put together a resume or punch that together, and you say when did you work here from when to when, I can give you years, but I
Yeah.
will never remember.
I actually have to do that every couple years.
Do you?
Yeah,
Oh, you have
for
to
my
update this for
CV,
school.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And so, but I've gotten to the point in time where anything before I actually was teaching is basically just listed as like transportation mashup.
Right.
Yeah, and so it's like literally 14 years of stuff that I just stuffed
Yeah.
into a paragraph.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's like, I can't remember what exact years I was working here or there.
Yeah.
I mean, I can kind of tack it down just based upon like what else was going on in my life at the time. But if you ask me to like pin like months on, so I stopped even putting any months on there anymore because I can't. I don't remember. When I actually started at a place. I've had so many damn jobs over the years.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You and I are pretty close. I know you have me beat, but we're pretty close.
What, in terms of jobs?
I think so.
Yeah, I'm at 14. I counted them up. I've had 14 different jobs.
It's funny is you may even have like a phantom job in there too that you might have skipped over.
There might be. I don't know. I think I actually sat down and tried to like work it all the way through at one point in time. So I can't remember. Maybe you and I did that. I don't remember. So, yay, memories. So
Yeah, and there are a number of them that I just glaze over because
Sure.
it was either really short or
really short.
Uh,
I only had a couple places that were really short. The bank was really short and that motorcycle joint was really short.
yeah,
I think the bank was less than 6 months, and I think the motorcycle joint was probably less than that, maybe 3.
Well, yeah, because they called you back to work.
Yeah, they called
Yeah.
me back to the airlines. So that guy begged me to stay too. So he was like, "Oh, I'll give you like $12 an hour." This is back in like 2002.
Oh yeah.
It was like
Yeah.
great money, and I actually went back to my seniority for a $5 pay cut.
Oh my God.
Oops.
What are
Because
you
I'm
gonna
pretty
do?
sure I was making $7.85, so or something like that, $7.85 on my seniority. So yeah, but they called me back to a full-time gig, which previously I only had a part-time one, so that was actually kind of cool.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, come to think of it,
Did part-timers get benefits at the time?
yeah, yeah, that was back in the day when they actually offered things like that. Part-timers got benefits and they cost you half as much. And so, yeah. So you had like a full-time premium and then you had a part-time premium.
Yeah,
And so,
okay.
but you got the same benefits package regardless. Yeah. So that would be unheard of these days, man.
You say that, but things have to change. Things are changing within the labor market where they have to start incentivizing people to.
I don't know about that, man. I'm not convinced. So I mean, I think that there's going to be a lot of companies out there and a lot of people who start shedding jobs and just figuring out how to do things with either robots or, just less workers in general.
Automation is way more expensive than anybody ever gives it credit.
Yeah, no, I understand that, but I mean, there's a lot of other ways that you can actually get around like a service job without actually having to have a person there. So like the touchscreens at the McDonald's and stuff like that are just an example of that, where you don't actually need a dude there. And I mean, I've even seen it in restaurants lately where, it's like, oh, well, we'll actually take fewer tables in a day than we will actually like, hire more people now.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, man. We'll have to see. And then there's like all these like questions about whether or not, who's going to be allowed to work from home. So you and I have answered that question. We
Yeah.
say
Yeah.
we are definitely part of that army. So,
Find a way to make this work.
I will make it work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now this spring they do want me to come back a little bit more on campus. So I don't have a problem with it because it's still on the same days. But I'm going to tell you right off the bat, those classes are going to be fucking empty. So they're going to be empty. So this whole thing where it's like, oh, we got to get back to the normal experience, blah, 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 the way that it was before COVID. It's like, it's never, ever going to happen.
Well, all right, let me preface this. So, again, this is one of those funny things where you walk through the history of things and you listen to media or watch media during the time period and you get to listen to people's experiences as it's happening.
Sure.
When the original plan for COVID was everybody takes about 2.5 weeks off.
Right. We'll all be back by Easter. Yeah. You remember that?
I do. And
We'll be back by Easter.
if they had been back by Easter, then you could have gotten this back in
Oh, back in the bag?
yeah.
If
Then-
you're an employer? Yeah, probably.
yeah.
Yeah, it would have just been, hey, remember that year that we got like 3 extra weeks off vacation? Yeah. As opposed to, hey, you remember when the entire fucking wheels came off the bus of the economy? And everybody's life got upended? So, and people who, like manned the counter at the fucking King Soopers Deli suddenly became heroes.
Right.
So, yeah.
Right. Yes. And so with that, if customers, or not customers, but if companies at that point were in a position to bite the bullet and say, well, I hate to say it, guys, but without the workers here, the work just can't be done.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, what happened was they adapted to survive.
Sure, yeah.
And unfortunately, in that adaptation, they raised serious questions of, why the fuck do I need to be here?
Yeah.
And especially when you take into account, well, I didn't catch the disease when it was just me and my family.
Mm-hmm.
I typically catch diseases when you herd 25 of us into the same meeting room.
Right. Yeah, and this is one of those companies where nobody's allowed to call in sick because it's a sign of, moral weakness.
Right, right. We just take the dumbest things from the Japanese, right?
Right,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Lack of moral fortitude.
So that I mean, that's the thing is there's this piece of so you do it this way, and things sort of you look at it and you say, oh, well, the building didn't burn down.
Right.
Oh, wait, we still made money. Things are okay.
Yeah.
And then the employer's like, yeah, but you got to understand from our perspective, it makes our life much easier to govern you
Yeah.
if we herd you all into the same place and we can just pop in on, but from a worker standpoint,
Oh, it's terrible.
that's no benefit to me.
No, but in like a lot of places, yeah, I think you're going to see like there's going to be less management, which is probably a good thing. But here's what's going to happen. All right, so what you're hoping that will happen,
Yes.
is that the employer, whoever the goons who own the company,
Yes.
will be like, oh, well, we goons have been making a lot of money over time, and so it's time for us to take a haircut and actually like pass on benefits and things to
right,
the employees.
right.
And that's not going to happen. The employees are going to turn around and they're going to say, yeah, actually, you know what? I want to work from home for 3 days a week. I want a decent healthcare package. And I don't know. I want some money for my kid's college fund or my own student debt or whatever.
Please. Yes.
And the company will be like, fine, okay, whatever. You know what they'll do? Jack up their prices. Hello, inflation.
But
So,
that's the thing, though. We have always known that that's part of
Sure.
that's part of the situation that we're in.
Yeah, but I think what a lot of people are hoping for is actually a reshuffling of like the order in which companies are actually run. Okay, like who actually gets to eat the most at the trough. That's not going to change. All right, everybody's going to move a little bit in lockstep, and the people who are going to get screwed, of course, are customers in the long run on this one.
Oh, which we all are, yes.
Yeah, of course, and so but the thing about it is that you and I as consumers, we've grown a little bit more discerning about like what we're actually going to spend our money on. You and I were just talking about this. It means that, okay, fine. I don't need all 6 streaming services.
That's correct. Yeah, that's right. I chopped 3.
Yeah, exactly.
I chopped 3.
Yeah, and like I don't go to the grocery store, so I don't have to walk past the candy aisle and have like 50 different things like govern my attention. So it's like, no, actually, you know what I feel like at the moment is Kit Kat, and so I'm going to get a Kit Kat on the Instacart, and I'm not even going to see your $1,500 end cap display thing here that is like obviously supporting somebody's marketing campaign.
Of course, yes.
And so it'll be kind of interesting, just to see that consumers are going to get a heck of a lot pickier, okay, if things are actually a little bit more expensive. So
that's true.
It will be interesting.
Yeah.
So, and like, I mean, even with gas prices going up right now, I mean, it doesn't like really affect me because I only drive 2 days a week, and I hear like, every day on the fucking CNBC, it's like, oh my God, blah, 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 blah. You're going to get the National Reserve now, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, I don't care. Okay, because I don't use gas. Well, so now there's some people out there who do use gas, and I'm sure they're going to get gouged by this.
Yes.
But at the same point in time, it's not like the universal pain that gas prices used to be,
I would say around what year?
Like 2008. So
okay.
2007 when they went bananas and they crashed the whole fucking economy. Mm-hmm. So because people said, well, I need gas in order to get to work, and so I'm not going to pay my mortgage.
Yeah, it's funny because then the mortgage guys were like, What do you mean? You can't just not pay.
You can't just not pay. It's like, well, actually, I left the keys on the counter, and so we're good, right?
Yeah. Because people did say, well, I can't.
Well, I can't. I'm not paying you, all right, for a house that's worth half as much as I paid for it. So
the American public at large said, then do something about it.
Something about it.
And what happened?
Oh, Wall Street got completely bailed out because... and so many people read that one the wrong way. It's like one of these, well, all the homeowners got screwed and stuff. And yeah, that's partially true.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's also like, like the actual populace did a real flex on Wall Street at that point in time.
Yeah, this is GameStop stock.
It really was, yeah.
About 1500.
it
Yeah,
really was. They did a real flex on Wall Street there and say, well, you know what? Tell you what, we're just not going to pay our bills. And Wall Street was like, you can't do that. you know? And so,
and it's weird when the
yeah.
United States public says, "Watch me."
Yeah, watch me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, you know, I remember all the stories back then about, you know, stupid, lazy people who bought way too much
Oh my
house.
God.
You know?
It's all about irresponsible
Right,
spending. Yeah.
But it wasn't a serious flex, whereas like, nah, we're not going to actually pay this.
Well,
We were getting close to doing it on student debt, man. I really wish that we had gotten just a little bit
a
closer
little bit
on that
gutsy,
one.
when people act in lockstep.
We
But,
we were getting close there, man. But fucking Joe Biden's been pretty good about like poking holes in our raft, man.
yeah, he is. He's
Yeah.
kind of, you know, that's obese Homer's, you know, bird there, where venting prevents explosion. You know,
Right,
you just have to tap the button every now and then. Fucking some cornfield gets vaporized with radioactive vapor.
Yeah,
But the plant doesn't blow up.
right.
Whereas in 2008,
The plant almost blew up.
Plant
man.
almost blew
yeah,
up.
the plant almost blew up.
and there was a lot of finger pointing, like pathetic
Yeah.
finger pointing.
Yeah.
Just so what I remember about
God, I
that,
remember
was,
I got so lucky
Oh, yeah.
on that because we had sold a house and like that house up north that we owned.
Shit,
We
yes,
stole
oh,
that
yeah.
February of that year, man. So right at the peak of the market. Got so lucky on that. So I checked it like maybe a couple years ago and it still wasn't worth what we had sold it for.
Is it close?
It is close now.
Close,
yeah, but it took a decade, man. So
Yeah, it's almost 02.
yeah, oh yeah, it's almost
Oh,
22.
two,
so
two,
more
two.
than a decade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
1-2.
Yeah, one,
Yeah,
two,
yeah.
two. Yeah. So,
God.
yeah.
Yeah, well, I just remember there's this funny thing that I remember around that time period when people would talk about it, and it was bizarre that everybody seemed to, they'd always be describing somebody like themselves, but they were distinctly talking about another group. So it was, the problem with this is that people are overspending,
Oh yeah.
right?
Oh yeah.
But there's this whole thing where you're, you know, completely Caucasian, but you're talking.
Oh,
when
yeah.
You say like white people,
Right.
And you're acting like you're not one of them. So there was this weird blame going on, and
Oh, especially in Florida, where remember the whole thing was like, well, strippers are buying houses. You know,
oh
kind of
right,
thing. Yeah.
right.
So it
yeah.
was this entire thing that was just absolutely kind of like, you know, it became this just moral judgment fest. You know, we're absolutely trying to actually point out, well, who exactly doesn't deserve the American dream, and why did they fuck it up for everybody else?
What the fuck? Yeah. I agree. That was
Yeah.
just where's this coming from?
Yeah, there was a lot of that going on. But I mean, to be fair, I knew quite a few people who were kind of like, you know, I guess your average white bread middle class kind of like, you know, trying to get their mortgage paid down and stuff like that. And then a lot of those people are the ones who, you know, got screwed really hard
Yeah,
because it
that's
was
true.
like, well, now my house is worth like, you know, half what I paid for it. My mortgage is, I'm going to be underwater on it for years. But I'm not going to walk away from my house because I don't want to ruin my credit,
Right.
you know, kind of thing. And so there's kind of this catch-22 spot in there that I knew quite a few people were kind of stuck in that one. You know, the funny thing is that it kind of worked itself out after a little while because if you actually stuck with it, at least in the market here, your house came back up in value. You know, or you could get
Yeah.
or like the Fed had, you know, ratcheted interest rates down so much that eventually you're able to get a pretty decent refi. Without taking a haircut on it. So, you know, so it did kind of work out, but I do remember a lot of wailing and gnashing of teeth at the time.
So much
Oh, yeah.
moralizing. So much moralizing.
Crazy amount of moralizing.
Yeah.
So, you know, and I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess we saw some of that during COVID. So,
Are you kidding? Yeah, it's been
I mean,
nothing.
what was it as bad as it was back then?
Twice.
You
Twice.
think so?
Absolutely, because this actually has an element of these deaths are on your hands.
Yeah, but I think it's a much smaller group of people who are saying that now than people who were moralizing back then. So I think you're talking about the Twitterverse here. So
Well, so the
because I mean I don't hear people at work saying that. All right, where they're turning other. Well, you didn't get fucking vaccinated, so you're responsible for it. I don't hear anybody at work saying that. Back then, okay, 2008, there were definitely colleagues, coworkers of mine who were saying shit like that about. Well, those people bought way too much house. You know.
no, okay, but what you're talking about here is there is a difference where a small percentage of people have sick, whereas the entire percentage has money.
Okay.
And especially when you're talking about like a co-worker place where people actually do have investments and stuff, and there is you can actually look at the numbers on the chart and say, I am down this because of this.
Okay.
And somebody should be held responsible.
Yeah.
Versus, I would argue that the COVID crowd is considerably louder, right?
Well, I think that's just a function of the times too, man.
Yeah.
So I mean, Twitter was baby, little baby Twitter back in 2008, man.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, it was there, but
It was there.
nobody gave a shit. It was just this
Yeah,
thing
nobody
where, you'd hop on and like, oh, look at this. Like, fucking Jim Carrey posted a funny joke.
Right. Or a weird painting of George W.
Yeah. Come see Jim Carrey's The Grinch, right?
Right.
Yeah. Things like
yeah.
that, or
Yeah, I suppose so. Man. I don't know. I mean, just like
make jokes or whatever. I don't know.
the COVID thing, there's like such a little bit more
Universal.
a little bit more universal, whereas the COVID thing, like I've known a couple people who are on like one far extreme and then a couple people who are on the other far extreme of it, and they're insufferable. So both of them. So to tell you the truth, like, but they're easy to ignore because there are very few of them as far as like I'm the people that I come across in my work. So yeah.
I totally understand.
Whereas, like, I remember the 2008 crash, I was working Frontier at the time, and one of the guys that I was working with, he was actually an investment advisor with Merrill Lynch. And he and I would talk about it every fucking day. And he'd be like, oh, this is going to happen, this is going to happen, this is going to happen. And, it was a rational kind of discussion. It wasn't anything like the discussion that I had with, the one person at work who was kind of like that, who's, like, oh my God, you're killing people, if you don't get it. And then likewise, the couple people that I know at the bar who are like, oh, you got the shot? What kind of pussy are you? Kind of thing. It's like,
You tell me.
I'm not going to associate with either of you guys,
Yeah.
It's like, you can't like nothing rational to say about this whatsoever. And so I don't know. The COVID things just felt a little bit different for me than like 2008 did, I guess. I don't know.
I guess it depends on where you poke your nose. I mean, so I guess the obviously the online experience is different, and I don't even want to discuss that because these are phony human beings. They're just I don't really have a lot of time for that. I do have some experiences of like traveling in the era of COVID and seeing some of the asinine things that were going on at that time. So I can say that there are encounters in the wild of COVID back and forth. So it's a real thing. It's also, but the other part of that was COVID also signaled for me the time to take a strategic retreat from public gatherings and
Sure.
So it is possible that I just don't have enough of a sample size in the real world to see this. However, I mean, shit, I guess my reaction as a whole is part of that, right?
Maybe,
if my reaction is to withdraw, that's sort of my own response to...
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Yeah, I guess it's I guess I hadn't fully considered that because you got laid off before COVID.
Just a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, not too much.
Yeah, enough to count in the COVID family of layoffs.
Right, yeah. And get free government cheese for a year,
I ate cheese.
Huh?
I ate cheese.
Yeah, you eat cheese.
You want me to talk about cheese? I'll talk about cheese.
About cheese. I ate your cheese.
What we have to do is we have to talk about how much cheese the government ate of mine prior to that. But
because it's quid pro quo. Got it.
that's all I have. I'm one man. I'm not a society. I'm not.
Right.
It's
Yeah,
what
but
I put in.
I hadn't thought about that, So like I guess like all right, so I didn't completely sequester myself.
Right.
So I went over to the bar until they kicked me out.
Correct.
All right. And so I've had kind of like this small gathering
Yeah.
of folks. And then same thing, I was at work. Now, in the beginning of COVID, a couple of my coworkers did do like the whole turtle up thing, and completely disappeared.
Yeah.
In fact, there's a couple of them I haven't seen since.
Jesus.
Yeah. I've seen them like on the Zoom, but I haven't seen them.
Well, you can confirm that they
still work with me. But yeah, I haven't seen them on the campus. And then there's like, the couple folks that I do know who, they're like the hoaxers kind of thing. Oh, it's all a hoax and blah, blah, blah. And I'll never get vaccinated, yada, yada, yada. I mean, they're pretty easy to find. So, because they're out there, just, like whatever, they kind of get in your face about it a little bit. So I guess I've seen those two extremes. But the vast majority of people that I dealt with over the course of the entire COVID thing were just like, when's it going to be over? More so than anything else.
Yeah, there's a. I mean, look,
and I don't know how soon it's going to be over, man. So it's spiking here again in Colorado.
No, this was I don't remember who said it, but they were absolutely right about this when they said COVID is basically Biden's Vietnam. This is
Biden's Vietnam.
Yeah, because it's ongoing.
Oh,
there's no exit strategy. There's no real, conditions of victory.
I don't think there is actually an exit possibility.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But it's just something that's going to always be there.
Yeah.
Which is not what people want to hear.
No, but I think more people are kind of getting used to it. Like, I was bitching about my classes earlier, but I think that's just going to be the way that it's going to be, man.
What are you going to do?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so I think like a lot of people have gotten wise, like you said, with the job force or the work for the job market and things like that. You can be a little bit pickier. I think students can be a lot pickier now about what it is that they're actually going to do and how they're actually going to do it. And it's kind of one of those things where I'm seeing some of my older colleagues who are like absolutely just ready to throw in the towel because they're like, it'll never be the same way that it was before. I like teaching in, a lecture hall with 150 students. You're never going to see it again unless you're at a major state university, So a little Division II school like mine, no way. So, yeah. So
and look, that's fair. That's a completely fair assessment. And if that's what you got in for.
Yeah.
But then again, we also know that football in 1960 is not how it was played.
Right.
In 2010, right?
Yeah.
You take a look at the era of there's no face mask on that helmet, and that helmet's made of leather.
Right. Yeah. It's like, wow, you could really poke his eyes out, couldn't you? But you wouldn't do that on a dog pile. So in 1960.
Bullshit. Yeah, you would.
Would you?
People would play dirty too.
Back then?
Oh yeah.
Are you sure about that?
Oh, people would play super dirty.
Super dirty? Like worse than today?
Crotch grabbing, all sorts of things. Man, you ought to see some of those tackles they used to lay down in those days. But that being said, there's also you take a look at the consideration. You take a look at the hits they were doling out with crappy equipment, and you're saying, all right, so what's the NFL concussion protocol in 1960?
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, the game changes.
Yeah.
And there's a part where, look, we all have faced it. You have to look at it and say, all right, this game is for this group of people now. It's time for me to go.
Right.
I don't want to adapt to it. It's the same
yeah.
thing.
No, I think I definitely have some colleagues who are just like, they're like, I've got 2 years left till I make my para. I'm
totally
out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Totally okay.
Or, like a couple of them are just like, I could have gotten out a couple of years ago. This is going to be the year that I put my papers in, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I mean, I completely understand it. it's kind of the people who are like my age or maybe a little bit older.
Caught in the middle.
They're kind of caught in the middle.
I got 10 years this way, 10 years that way.
Yeah. And it's kind of like, well, I don't know how much longer I want to fucking do this if it's like this.
Yeah.
It's like, or is it, well, could I adapt to this,
Uh-huh.
and maybe do something a little bit different or something like that. I actually have options. So,
Yeah.
but, like even, I don't think there are actually now some faculty members who are younger than me.
It's bound to happen.
Yeah, it's bound to happen. It's kind of mind blowing. But it's also like they're also like very young and mobile and things like that, and so they'll be fine.
Of course.
through all
Yeah.
this.
No.
So, but I don't know, man. And like I said, I don't know how soon it's going to be over, quote over. I was meeting with some folks last week, and they were asking me about that, and I was like, yeah, well, it's going to be a thing for at least another year. So, and like I've actually dived, looked at some of the projections and things like that. It's kind of interesting how accurate the CDC has been with its projections. So, like with the total death count and stuff like that, they're like almost on the money. So,
As of now
Yeah.
versus their early predictions?
well, yeah. So the earlier ones were a little bit, off, but there was one model in particular that they put up, and it was one of three. And that one has turned out to be like spot fucking on. They didn't know what conditions, and so the CDC, there's like, this isn't like the Fauci people and stuff like that. These are
Fuck those
these are the statisticians.
Yeah.
The demographers who actually study pandemics. Who nobody knows any of their names because that's what good statisticians do. So
That's true.
yeah, it's true.
There should be no cult of celebrity around statisticians.
There is no cult of celebrity
Yeah.
around statisticians. So I've seen a couple pollsters try and do that, and they get slapped down.
It's not just pollsters. It is also the cult of statisticians are also those dudes on fucking CNBC who are
Oh yeah, Bitcoin's going down.
well the guys that it's the classic thing where they say this is the guy that predicted Cardano.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Here are his top 5.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why you never ever read Motley Fool articles. So, yeah.
That is beyond my scope. That is, I
Yeah.
don't even know a thing about that. Can you tell the audience about Motley Fool? Because I don't know.
It's basically it's one of these financial publications that occasionally puts out really good information, but 90% of the articles are like basically submitted by people who are trying to pump stocks. So
Sweet.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's very common. Same thing with Business Insider. So they do,
I know those
yeah,
guys.
yeah.
Oh,
There you go.
they're like
Yeah,
that?
they're like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So they're a little bit better, but every article will end with like this thing that says, if you want to know our 3 best stock picks so that you can turn $10,000 into 50 within the next 8 weeks, please click on the link below and subscribe.
God, you know what that's a version of? Who was that? He hasn't been on TV in 15 years, I think. I don't know. But who was that Asian guy who, when they'd show his commercials, he'd always have like an arm around 2 women in bikinis.
Oh, yeah, I know who you're talking about.
And
Yeah.
that's exactly what that feels like is
That guy he launched his own fucking pyramid scheme.
and it just, I remember his commercials were just kind of like, oh, you see this yacht? This is my yacht.
This is my
You remember? I'm not trying to make
my girlfriend.
that's what I gotta do. And it's like, look at our car. That's my car. That's my toy, right? I show you. I'm not doing an impression or
No.
a stereotype.
No, I know, yeah.
That's what the dude was doing.
But he was doing that back when who was the other guy? Tony Robbins was doing all that shit at that time too. So with all the motivational bullshit.
Him and I remember him and Matthew Lesko.
Oh, everybody remembers Matthew Lesko. Fucking the Riddler himself. Yeah. Let me teach you how to cheat the government using their own tax code. So get grant money from the government. Yeah.
Get $50,000 to write
right.
a novel.
He did have that.
Yeah.
He did have that voice. Yeah. You got an invention, so the government will pay you for your invention.
No, I like to think that
Yeah.
there are people right now be like, I haven't thought of that fucking dude in the question mark suit.
I think he died.
Did he?
Yeah, I think he died. I don't know. I'm gonna have to look that one up, but I think I saw that not too. Yeah, write that in show notes. We're gonna have to correct that.
Yeah,
on the
well, I'm just
show.
gonna write down dead hucksters.
Yeah, dead hucksters. Yeah.
Well, actually, here was one. I gotta tell you about a little like morbid obsession of mine,
So-
where if I catch a show of any age, like if I see something from like the '90s, the aughts, whatever, and I see people popping up in the show, I can't help but jump to my phone and look and see if like these actors or these guest actresses or whatever are still alive.
Oh yeah.
And I want to see what they look like, right? And so I was watching an old episode of Married with Children, okay? And it wasn't on TV. It was just one of the things that got kicked out to me through YouTube. It said, you
Yeah.
want to watch this? I'm like, I haven't seen this show in 30 years.
Yeah, no kidding.
So there's
Did not age well. So
it didn't,
Yeah.
and so there's this girl on there. I look at this, I'm like, well, she looks kind of familiar. She wasn't. She was just like some model. But then you look at the thing, and you look at the biography on this, and the one standout of this was married to Ron Popeil.
Ron Popeil. I
know who
haven't
that
heard
was?
that name in a long time.
Okay,
Yeah.
so he was the founder of Ronco, and Ronco would have like. He would have that set it and forget it rotisserie.
Oh,
and
okay.
The dude had like a 100 of those. He was like king of like the infomercial.
Oh,
so
really?
he would, yeah. So that was like all those weird kind of inventions, like you stab this into the orange and like all sorts of crap like that.
Oh yeah, slap chop. Yeah.
Well, this was before then, but
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So this dude was like 65 in the 80s.
Oh shit.
Yeah, he was old back then
Yeah.
when these were coming out, and I'm sitting there looking at this like that's like a 45-year difference.
Yeah.
And I can't stop from doing that. When I see people, it's from that just like, wow, is this person still? Oh
Yeah.
shit. Okay, well, what's this?
Who was the other guy that died from the cocaine overdose? He was one of those hucksters. Right about the same. No, it was later. It was the OxyClean guy. What was it?
Vince?
No, not Vince.
Not Vince from
no.
ShamWow, but
No, ShamWow guy. Something bad happened to him. But it wasn't murder.
if I
Yeah.
recall, he had like his nose bitten by a hooker or something.
That's
like
right.
that.
Yeah. No, it's Billy Mays. Billy Mays is the guy.
He
who
died of cocaine.
I
thought
think he died of
I thought he
cocaine.
just died from Burger King or. Well, he didn't.
I'm sure it was a confluence of events, but I'm pretty sure cocaine was involved in it somehow. Yeah, he died of Burger King.
Billy Mays did not look like the kind of guy that was stacking plates at the gym.
Yeah,
man.
that's true. Yeah,
So I figure,
Billy Mays. Yeah.
yeah. Oh shit. Okay, I was. See, Vince from ShamWow looks like he would have died from cocaine.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, absolutely. But he also looks like a guy who'd get his nose bit off by a hooker. So,
Which things are mutually exclusive.
right, yeah,
That shit could happen in the same
right,
night,
yeah,
dude.
I probably did. Yeah.
The order of said things, I don't know. Which one happened first, can't tell you. But it definitely seems to fit his character. Because he was Mr. Slapchop.
Yeah.
He was,
Okay. Yeah, you're
he
right.
was, you're going to love my nuts. He was,
Well, he did that ninja thing too, didn't he?
yeah, the
Well, no, he had the ShamWow slap chop,
and the
then
slap
what
chop.
was the
What's
ninja?
the ninja thing?
There was, didn't it do crosscuts or something? I can't remember.
Oh, like you move the food across it horizontally, or
I think so. I can't remember, man. So, but he was on TV a lot. So
Yeah, he was.
yeah, for a while. Him and Billy Mays and the guy who took over, the Australian dude who took over for Billy Mays, who's still out there.
Australian dude.
Yeah, you'd recognize him if you saw him. So at least he might be British. I don't know. So he might be like tame Australian. Sometimes you can't tell them apart.
House Australian.
House
Yeah.
Australian, yeah.
Yeah, the Australians work in
Right,
the field.
yeah,
I got
yeah,
it.
yeah.
But somebody's got to be in
So-
charge. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I know where you're going with that. Jesus, that's not where I meant to go with that, man.
I thought that's
So-
exactly where you.
No, I was thinking like cats. You know, like you have indoor and outdoor cats. You know. So-
My fault.
yeah.
I'm not taking it back, but that's just where I thought you were going.
No.
No, okay. So the other guy that, so I can't think of the Australian guy. I can think of. So obviously there's that new dude who he's doing like that flex tape.
Oh, that pudgy bastard.
Yeah,
yeah,
that pudgy bastard. The other guy I have fond memories of is.
I thought he was just product specific. I didn't know he was.
Is he? Oh, okay.
I don't
thought,
know. Yeah.
Oh, you know what? It's because I've seen flex tape take on so many different iterations
Sure.
where it was the
Flex
tape,
steel.
the seal.
Yeah. It's a boat. You put screen doors on a battleship. Watch me. Yeah.
He sawed a whole boat in half.
Yeah.
Well, the other guy that I used to like, who actually convinced me to buy the Miracle Blade 3, was Chef Tony. Who,
Oh, I remember him.
yeah, he was the one that he's cutting through an aluminum can.
Yeah,
and all that
yeah.
other stuff.
No. I don't know. It's been a while, man. So like I'm so out of touch with advertisements that aren't on during football anymore.
Gee, yeah, that's
So,
true.
you know, and even during football, I've gotten really good at just looking at my phone when there's not actually football on.
Right,
Yeah.
right. It's like you can actually alter the delta waves in your brain to completely divert or shut
That's
off
an ad.
during. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's an ad.
Yep.
She's an ad. Yeah. So there's kind of a, I don't know. There's a little bit of an art to it, but you and I are, I don't know, we're kind of in this right age cohort where we got all the ads ever.
Well, okay.
Because I've had them on all mediums. I've seen
Yes.
them evolve from simple pop-ups,
Absolutely.
you know, to
Yes.
like Twitter bots, you know, at
Yes.
this point in time. And so I'm actually pretty good at like sussing out what an ad is. So on just about anything, you know. My daughter, not so much. You know, she's only 10, but you know, I think by the time you and I were 10, we were getting pretty wise to it, you know, right off the bat. So I don't know.
Well, so here's the thing: is there's a high, middle, a low, middle, and high, Renaissance.
Sure.
Right? Now, the thing is, when the Renaissance is over, the effects of it are still there, even if the movement is
Sure.
officially over. So we got to see this point where advertising had hit complete saturation to the point where I would probably call this the Old Spice revolution, where at that point the product was irrelevant.
Right,
The
yeah.
whole thing was, can I
Goofy ass
create
ad.
yeah,
Yeah.
can I create some kind of dumbass experiment where
Sure.
all we're trying to do is get an idea into the zeitgeist
Right.
that barely has to apply with the product.
Yeah.
Right. And that'll
Emo, you know, and all that shit.
Correct.
You know, nowadays.
So-
yeah.
we came from a period where, yes, we saw the tail end of, after the I'd like to buy the world a Coke era,
Right.
into
Where's
young,
the beef?
Where's the beef?
Yeah.
We were there for the artistic period of Apple's 1984
De Beers.
ad.
Yeah.
Yeah, De Beers,
Yeah.
all this stuff. And we watched it transform into, all right, as saturation goes up, how do we gather attention? Okay, got it. And so it
And
evolved.
multiple ad campaigns on the same product at the same time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. And so, like I said, I call it the Old Spice turning point, because at that point it has gone into absurd territory.
Right.
That's all it is.
No, that's
I mean,
a good cut point. So, I mean, it's beyond the point in time where ads were even trying to be funny.
Yeah,
You know, because you
just
remember the
weird.
funny periods, like where the Super Bowl ads were fucking great. Now they're terrible, and they have been for like 5-6 years.
Yeah. If not
You know?
more.
No, you could see it kind of sliding in that direction a while ago. You know, but you still get a couple gems out of it every single year. Now, like I watched it last year, and there was like nothing, and it's all like, yeah, it's just branding, it's just getting into the zeitgeist. That's a very good way to think about it, actually.
Well, there were two things that people really cared about during the Super Bowl ads. Were number one, what are the funny commercials?
Sure.
Or sometimes, oh, that was really good, right?
Yeah.
But most of the time, it was super funny. As a matter of fact, there were fucking post-mortem shows on Monday
Right.
dedicated to talking about the ads.
Yeah.
The other thing was what movie trailers debuted.
What movie trailers? Or yeah, sometimes it would be like something like a new car line announcement or something.
Yeah.
You know, like oh my god, they're bringing the vet back. Cool. You know,
Right.
kind of thing. Yeah.
Oh, the Volkswagen Beetle. Mm-hmm. Perfect example.
Excellent example.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's the other thing about movie trailers. Nobody gives a fuck about waiting for that
No.
until Super Bowl time.
Yeah.
Because you want it on YouTube,
Right.
stirring up interest way before that.
Oh,
instead of
yeah.
once a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's totally changed. So, you know, I mean, it's like movie trailers are completely irrelevant. So anymore, you're gonna know about them from the YouTubes or from the Twitter or from Instagram or something like that way before.
Way before.
Yeah.
Way before. As a matter of fact, there's more influence from those from people getting like little bits of information leaked early and
Yep.
then building up hype.
Yep.
I don't want to call it organically because once you
It's
start
fake.
doing yeah,
You know it's fake.
but you try to make it look organic.
Right, yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Right.
So the video game industry is just as bad now, man.
Oh fuck them. Yeah, these fraud.
Yeah, fraud.
man.
It's like, what do you mean there might be a Red Dead 3? You know?
Like, you
Like,
know.
thanks, Kotaku.
You
Yeah,
know.
I know.
I mean,
Yeah.
come on. Yeah, it's bro. With how much behind the curtain I've seen just in television in
Sure.
the past month.
Yeah.
Fake.
Fake.
It's a fake. Yeah, it's embarrassing. And every one of these industries is like this.
Yeah.
And organic. It's like,
Well, all marketing in some respects is kind of like that. And yeah, I mean, like I said, you and I have kind of watched the evolution of it
yeah,
over a long period of time. And then, so like internet advertising for me is like one of the most fascinating things out there is because I can't even tell you any internet ads that I've actually fucking seen, you know, because I'm so good at not looking at them now, you know?
I can tell. Okay, so I can counter with that. I can say I can tell you the internet ads that I've seen because they're basically stuff that I've looked at on Amazon in the past.
Oh, yeah, so the little side panel ones.
Yep.
Yeah, and so
Yep.
that's absolutely Amazon screen scraping your data.
Yeah.
You know, they're saying, hey, do you still want this? You know, I've got things that I deleted out of my cart like 2 years ago that still show up on there from time to time.
Yeah.
It's like, this is like 2 versions of Dungeons and Dragons ago. I'm not going to play this, you know, kind of thing.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
now it's also one of those things where, like, that's like one form of, and I remember, like, even in some of the marketing classes that I took way back, like, this was not 20 years ago, but close to, you know, where they were just starting to figure some of this shit out, you know? It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
like thinking about the different possibilities, now seeing them, all of them come to fruition, but also, like, having been like a human guinea pig, you know, for the last 10 years on these marketing techniques, it's kind of like, what do you got?
Yeah.
So what's actually going to
Yeah.
pique my interest here and stuff like that? And the answer is almost nothing.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it literally has to come down to, like, there's an exact product that I need, all right, that I just happen to see it, okay, and I'll buy it almost instantaneously at that point in time. So, and it can be something that's like really, you know, off the wall, and you could never like actually extract that out of my data. That, oh, why does Pat need a box of chip clips all of a sudden? You know?
Yeah, that's the one where if you do need them,
Right, and you're like, fuck yeah, I'm going to buy these right now because I'm sick and tired of rummaging around in my drawer for a broke-ass chip clip, you know?
what I was more concerned with, if it comes up like that and you haven't searched for it, that's something that you got to look over your shoulders and say, who knows this?
Right.
And why?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Oh, yeah, you'd be freaked out by that. Yeah. So, but even then, like other things like the suggestion boxes that you get there on the Amazon kind of thing, and they'll
yeah.
start populating
Yeah.
those after a little while. It's like, that's not even fucking close to what I want. I'm not going to click on it because I know that I'm going to encourage your ass.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's
yeah.
almost like playing three-dimensional chess with these motherfuckers now.
It shouldn't be that
It
complicated.
shouldn't be
but it
that
is.
complicated,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it sure is, man. And so, like I said, I think you and I are just in a spot where they have tested every drug on us over the last 20 years. And so, you know, it's kind of like, all right, what do you got? You know?
Well, see, and the question is, what is the what is the biological effect that has on your brain? And I got to tell you what the answer is, right? The answer for me is, so I don't know. I think it's close to the stem, right? But that gland in my brain that is receptive to hype has just been fried. It's
absolutely
just been
fried. Yeah.
Where I'm seeing things like the internet's going fucking nuts for the new like Spider-Man movie. I watched this, and all this is it's a complete and total nostalgia fest, right? But anything and everything related to hype has been so fried that I'm watching this and I'm like, all right, well, this looks like a movie. I mean, this could be good, but I
believe this is a motion picture.
Right. The runtime is between 90 and 205 minutes, but I just couldn't get excited for it. And I guess I don't know if that's a good thing. I don't know if basically, let me put it this way. I don't know if it's at the same part where my father would have been at an appropriate age, right?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Because there was a certain amount of cynicism that my father had. Dad was not don't get excited because it's going to suck anyway. No, it wasn't like that. There was a part of him
Everybody
that was,
knows a dad like that, though.
of course. Yeah, well, and a lot of times he's right. But, but when he's saying, like, well, Godzilla's going to fight King Kong, yeah, that'll be great. There's...
Oh, man, I got to be careful. I don't want to be that dad.
But here's the thing, is my dad also had that where, hey, guys, fucking giant monkey's fighting a lizard. We got to...
Yeah,
we're going this weekend. Yeah. So he would get excited for silly things like that. I mean, my dad was the dude that he grabbed me. He says, "There's a movie on downstairs about giant worms called Tremors. You want to go watch it?"
Yeah.
Like, sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's excited for it, But there were also things where he was just so over it. So,
oh, yeah.
It's like, son, when you do this, yes, you're going to get 8 CDs for a penny, but you're going to...
Right.
Son.
Right, yeah. You can't sign a contract, boy. Yeah.
I see that you already have, but...
Yeah. That means these are free. Yeah.
Give me the phone.
Yeah, give me the phone. Yeah, I don't want to be that dad, man. That's kind of like a Grinch on just about everything.
You knew him.
Yeah.
But
also, I can kind of see, like, my pop was kind of already there. So he get excited about certain things, but none of them were like movie or music or anything like that related, or books or whatever.
Right.
He was he'd grown so simple in his tastes in some respects.
Right.
That it was almost endearing, but it was also like joyless, or at least it seemed like it sometimes.
Exactly. Yeah.
Maybe I'm being a little harsh on him there.
No, you're not.
Yeah.
You're not, because like, it wasn't... Our father's entertainment taste crossed a lot of the same paths. I could tell you that my father was never like, there's a new dumb classic book. It was...
Yeah. It's like, I'll grab it if someone leaves it on an airplane.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, given how much travel that my dad was doing, the 10% of my father's books were engineering. The rest were bought in the airport gift shop.
Like Clive Cussler books and stuff. Yeah,
read like all 26
Dan
of them.
Brown.
Dan Brown.
Yeah.
W.E.B. Griffin.
Oh, yep. Got to get some spy novels in there.
Absolutely. There were some occasionally, like John Jakes. There were.
I don't remember him.
There's another Western author in there.
Louis L'Amour. So
the one and only, yes, of
yeah.
course. Yeah, there was some L'Amour in there.
School.
Shit, there were some Mickey Spillane books in there too. But the majority of it was Koontz.
Dean Koontz, yeah.
Not even Dean Koontz. Flight of the Intruder. Koontz.
Dean Koontz.
No, that's right. Stephen Koontz was Flight of the Intruder. Dean Koontz was the
he was the horror guy.
Yeah.
No, I'm thinking of Flight of the Intruder guy.
Yeah. Stephen Koontz.
Koontz, Flight of the Old Dog. Yeah. Oh my God, man. Yeah, my dad would get off on those books a little bit.
Yeah.
But I mean, that was definitely an '80s thing too, man. The height of the Cold War. So the fucking Tom Clancy days, you know.
Our dads were in the military.
Well,
too,
yeah,
so
I get that, but you
Yeah.
know, that was everybody was reading those motherfucking books at that time.
Oh
you
yeah,
know,
I suppose
you
that's
know.
true. Yeah,
So, but you know, that was like I said, that was a different time.
there's a world just
And
ready and waiting for Jurassic Park.
waiting for Jurassic Park. All I had to make it was like 5 more years, man. And now we got a world that can't get rid of it. So it's awful. So
Yeah,
like I've lost my joy for dinosaurs. What the fuck, Hollywood? You took that from me too. So
they did it to themselves, really. Like,
they did it to me, dude. You know?
okay,
I don't even want to go see the next movie.
I look, but there's still a part where you have to look at what's happened to dinosaurs, and you do have to get Midwestern mom on it and say, "I hope you're proud of yourselves."
Yeah,
because
exactly.
if you'd exercised even the smallest amount of restraint,
Right.
you could still have something cool going on
You
here.
have great dinosaurs.
You guys have just you sold me queer giraffes. You guys have just
Right,
totally.
They walk around and don't fuck. Yeah.
I mean,
There's a good movie, man.
yeah, there's one. There's
Right,
one.
there's A.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I understand. Look, I read the outline for what the proposed sequel to Gladiator was.
Sounds- Oh, to Gladiator?
Absolutely insane.
Oh, yeah.
So much to the point where, and I told you that I get off on the weird. I say go for it because it was so bizarre, because it was the spirit of Maximus Decimus Meridius was supposed to be traveling through history and battling with history's greatest
Jeff,
warriors.
that sounds horrible.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
But it could be so goddamn weird that you could have a winner.
This is like Highlander 2 weird, man.
It's so...
Where you just wreck the entire thing. I think, like, with that one, they did the right thing. They said, you know what, we're going to make a movie.
Guarantee it.
Yeah.
Yes. Look, from a... You're talking about very statistically long odds that you end up with a good product, but there is part of me that says, go for the weird. If you're going to strike
Just
out...
make a different movie.
If you're going to strike out... Well, and that's what Ridley Scott did.
Yeah.
He's like, he took his notes and said, they want to give me this money to make this movie. But...
Yeah. I'm
And-
going to go make Kingdom of Heaven instead.
Well,
Yeah.
evidently, it was Russell Crowe who saw that script, and he was just like tugging on sleeves saying, we can do this. We should... This sounds awesome.
Yeah.
It's like, I want to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he is a little loopy. So.
He's all fat.
Oh, did he get all fat?
Oh, he's huge.
Oh.
He's not Val
Hey
Kilmer
man,
fat,
if he's
but-
like, you know, if you're Russell Crowe, you can be whatever kind of Russell Crowe you want to be. So, you know, if you want to be fat Russell Crowe, I don't have a problem with that. So,
Well, all right. See, there's...
you've made your monies.
Well, of course, and there's this there's this thing where people seem to not be able to come to grips that human beings do age,
Oh yeah.
and you know, as an actor, as you get older, there's supposed to be new roles that open up for you.
There aren't.
Whereas, well, yeah, whereas you have people in their 40s still playing teenagers.
Yes.
And, did you, okay, so did you ever get around to seeing Dune?
No, we haven't seen it yet.
Okay, well,
We were gonna catch it last week, but we had Cat at the house. So,
okay.
yeah.
Well, before my HBO Max subscription expires, watch it. But
Oh, we've got it on the pirate server.
Oh, okay.
Yarby dar.
Okay. All right. So, but that being said, when I'm watching this, there is such a divide between the actors and the actresses.
Why?
Where now there's a who's who of fantastic male actors in this. I would say like the least accomplished one is actually the lead role.
Okay.
Who I think he's fine, but you know,
Isn't he really young?
he's really young, and of course, I've also got this like spot where once you set somebody to an iconic role, you expect that to be that. So Kyle MacLachlan from the first one, he's my Muad'Dib. Right?
Yeah.
He's got the hair for it.
Yeah,
He's got
sure.
the look, the command. But
It was also almost 40 years ago now.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
I know. Well, yeah, but again, it's the same. You know,
Right, yeah.
Set that role,
Yeah.
but the actresses in it are god awful. Right?
Why are they too young?
They just don't act.
Yeah.
They don't act. But you can sit there and see the guys in the movie, and there's like emoting, there's dynamic changes to it, whereas female actresses at this point, I gotta tell you, like, still to this point, Kate Blanchett can act miles around any actress in Hollywood. It basically at this point is just like, all right, so she and Emma Stone actually do some acting. Everybody else is just, were you kind of pretty? All right.
Yeah. But I mean, how's it different than it's been? It's been like that for decades in Hollywood. So, I mean,
You
what
sure?
well, I don't know, man. You're the movie guy. So,
Oh, I guess, but
I mean, I like I don't know. It's just interesting where they seem to come up with the new like who's the new hot young thing in Hollywood that lasts for like 5 to 8 years and then gone. So, or, at that point in time, you start seeing her again and they try and put her in more serious roles, but all they want is like those original characters that she played. So, in some respects.
I think that would be your Angelina Jolie.
Yeah, Angelina Jolie's a
pretty-
great one. Yeah, Megan Fox was another one. So, I mean, there's tons of them out there that as soon as somebody new came up, I mean, everybody's like, "Oh shit, who is that? Can we get her in?" kind of thing. And then like actors. So your male actors, they either kind of grow to the point in time where they can command their own roles, and kind of like do some experimentation and actually try. Oh, I want to be the bad guy. I want to be this guy.
Sure.
Like Josh Brolin's a good example of that. He's done a little bit of everything now because he can. Okay, because he hung in there long enough, and he got a couple decent roles that got him in front of like a big enough audiences. Were like, "Ooh, who the fuck is that?" So kind of thing. And but those guys are rare. So there's a lot of them out there that like really just they go Russell Crowe on you after a couple years. So
Russell Crowe has an extraordinarily diverse career.
no, I understand that, but it's also done basically. So
Oh, yeah. Well, he's still putzing around. He's still doing.
he was in a band for a while. So if you get to the point in time where you're not doing like 2-3, major projects in a row, and you're gonna go fuck around and be an Australian band lead singer for a little while, you're kind of done.
I don't know. To that extent, maybe you're just managing your eccentricities. I mean,
Sure, you can
he's
call it that,
not
man.
Marlon
So-
Brando,
Not Marlon Brando, but then like there's other guys out there who their career probably could have had a little bit more legs under it if they had just like actually stuck and done the work. So like you can say whatever you want about Leonardo DiCaprio, but he has done his work year after year after year after year.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
and I mean, that's what makes him a fucking Hollywood legend, and I mean, the guy can do whatever the fuck he wants to do.
Sure.
So Brad Pitt's kind of the same way. So you talk about a guy who did the grind for many, many years.
Yeah, he was a pretty boy back in the day.
He was a pretty boy,
Yeah.
but then all of a sudden he got a couple roles where you're like, oh, that guy's got some chops,
Yeah.
Yeah. And I just don't think that too many female actresses or actors are really awarded that opportunity, to tell you the truth. So
to tell you the truth, I don't think it's expected of them.
no, exactly, yeah. I don't think it's expected, and I don't think it's actually something that audiences look for. So
Yeah, but they should.
there's a lot of things that audiences should look for.
God damn it! What am I
You don't
doing?
know
Yeah,
that.
what am I doing? This is.
Don't listen to the audience, man.
No.
better than that.
Well, it's not. Well, the audience has spoken loudly, saying we don't care.
No, we don't care.
We don't care. That's fine.
Yeah.
It's. And again, I'm not. I understand how elitist that sounds. Where I'm saying like, who watch movie? Tits go boom.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not doing
Waldorf
that.
is
I'm
one
not.
here.
I'm not. That is not what I'm doing. What I'm saying is that resoundingly, they're like, this is not something that interests me. Your interests are not my
Yeah.
interests. You do not represent us.
Yeah.
You elitist piece of crap.
Yeah.
Right? Where you're scraping the weird end of Netflix for like
The weird end. I think we got our episode title, "The Weird End of Netflix." So
for your oh my god, this is so avant-garde. This is so different than good movies. This is what turns your crank. I get it.
yeah,
I get it. So
but there's no Spider-Man in this.
right. I'm in the non-Spider-Man section.
Right.
It's this big.
Yeah,
But yeah, I'm
literally scraping that end of Netflix.
what was it? Scraping the weird end of Netflix.
Scraping the weird end of Netflix.
How you doing on coffee?
I'm cashiered, man.
All right, we're cashiered.
I'm
All right,
cashiered,
so-
and we're at a $1.20.
All right, so if we got a title, I think that's
yeah,
okay.
scraping the weird end of Netflix. So
Okay.
I don't know. Are we endorsing that? Are we saying that people should do that? I'm kind of agnostic, so I'm gonna completely punt this one over to you.
Well, no, actually, you're making a fine point. By being agnostic, this is where you have multiple reviewers on the same angle. You're saying that film is product,
Film as
find product that you like,
right?
right? Whereas saying you have to stimulate your, oh my God, it's so different bone. Which guy are you?
I don't have that bone.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Is if you identify with me and you're saying, well, I've seen 3 iterations of Spider-Man in 20 years
Yeah,
with 2 to 3 movies apiece,
yeah,
then maybe you do want to walk the non-Spider-Man path,
yeah,
as dangerous it may be. But there's also a part of you that says, if it ain't broke,
yeah.
they're not making these because people don't like them.
Right, but I just don't watch them.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like that's
Yeah,
the demand meets, desire,
sure.
right? They're not making these. They're not forcing. You're gonna like. God damn it! We're gonna find an avenue of this where people finally like it. No, they're making it because people want it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I just the audiences have moved away from me. It's like being a Reagan Republican. So it's like that's not my Star Wars anymore, man. So
That's the same thing for me. Where
I didn't leave Star Wars; it left me.
exactly, yeah. I'm sorry, man.
Yeah.
That's like me being a liberal. I got no family anymore.
Right? Yeah.
Like,
Just kind of drift on my own.
I get along with the Republicans now instead of that whatever monster the far left has become.
Oh, I just ignore that now, man. So
Yeah,
you got to ignore that, and you got to stay away from the zombies on the Republican side.
Yeah,
and
that's
after
true,
that,
man.
you're okay
Those
if you're in
guys.
good territory away from those two guys. So
They eat human meat.
they do eat human flesh. Yeah, I know. Yeah, so that's why you don't get too close. All right, so the weird end of Netflix and politics, huh?
Yeah,
So
and-
maybe
and-
we'll save politics for the next one.
I don't want to catch far right. Yeah.
No, and we'll have to see what happens with that whole trial thing. You got to fill me in on all that, so because I know you're watching it and I'm not.
Oh my God, we didn't even.
I don't know anything about it. We can save it for Friday. So, I have specifically not watched anything on that, so you can give me the Jeff version.
Well,
Okay.
it's the Will version too. He's
fine.
well versed on this too.
That's
but-
fine. So I will come into it as an ignoramus. So
cool.
Cool.
That's where I am with Tolkien.
that's okay, man.
Yeah.
I'm not going to judge you for that. So
Like it. All right.
Yeah.
That's cool.
All right.
All right. You are.
I am Pat,
I'm Jeffrey.
and this is Coffee Before Bed.
Thanks,
oh no,
guys.
it's bedtime. Yep,
This was also Coffee Before.
that's correct.
Yeah.
All
I
right,
don't-
see ya. Fuck
Yeah.
it, hit the button.
Hit the button.